Toodle ducking. Oh, quack, quack. It is time to review The Sopranos. Season 2, Episode 3. Right here on Fog Entertainment. We get introduced to a brand new character in this episode. An important character. And hopefully he lasts longer than his dead brother.
Aye, because his brother's dead. But we're talking about Richie Aprile. And what's your first impressions of the big man? I think he's good.
I mean, I like Richie Aprile. I'm getting like a kind of badass, not to be messed with. But I'm also kind of getting like vibes. He doesn't really play by the rules. He doesn't strike me as being fair. Now, Jackie Aprile was supposedly the head man of the entire operation. But I don't know, Jackie Aprile kind of came across to me as like a pushover. Someone that would be very lenient and let you away with stuff. Now, maybe it's because when we actually get introduced to him at the very start, he's sick and he's, dying. That could be a reason why we get that feeling from him. But I don't feel that with Richie. I feel like Richie, give him a chance and he'll stab you in the back kind of thing.
Yeah, like Richie definitely seems like he should have been leader, even though I'd argue his methods would make for him not to be leader, because I don't think he's got a level head. He kind of just does what he wants, and you can kind of see why he got 10 years rammed up his ass here.
Yeah, he's a bit volatile. He's a
reckless.
He's he's all of those things.
So he's out after 10 years, right? He pays a wee visit to pizzeria owner. Pizza, it's me, Beansy.
Beansy Guetta, his former partner in crime, who is doing pretty well for himself at the moment. Got a pizza job. Well, I don't know if it's pretty well, but he owns his own business.
Like, he basically says to Richie,
he's doing better than us.
Yeah, he says to Richie in like another confrontation later on, like, while you and your brother pissed away the heroin money, I put mine to good use, and I bought a couple of pizza chains, and essentially, then he fell in love with a DiCamio crime family, the Sopranos, and then he's making money with Tony, so that's why he's not allowed to be touched by Richie. But what does Richie do? Richie touches him.
He touches him in a pretty big way. Basically wanted money. When Gator told him to back off, he got a coffee pot to the head.
But I tell you what, right, this Beansy guy's got shite bag mentality, because he was acting like such a shite bag to Richie, but see the wee kid, he was like, oh, why didn't you get him a fucking sandwich?
Get him a sandwich, man.
But to Richie, he was like, oh, it's okay, Richie. No, I get it, right? This kid's a wee shite bag, right?
Just say so.
He's probably on 4.20 and all.
I'm not your wife. You fucking bastard.
I know, but do you not hate... I know, obviously, it's just that people are going to act shite bags to more people than others, like if they've got a reputation, but I hate people like that. I like people in TV shows who treat everyone the same and they don't give a fuck who it is.
I know, but I think you tend to find this is the way it kind of goes with a lot of these people,
Well, it is, but I think it was a good way to establish Richie, but it made me not really like Beansy. I'm not saying his fate was desired, but I mean, it established Richie, so I was all for it.
I know, but you kind of get this, people who are like kind of high up in, organisations, whatever, but they're not the highest. When they're around their minions or people that are below them, they act like the top dog, they act like this tough guy, but when they're around people that are above them, they kind of just retreat into shite bag mode, like you said, so I think that's pretty normal.
But again, I think it just goes back to what you said.
But considering this guy had a bit of, considering this guy believes he's got Tony's backing and that nothing's going to happen to him because he's protected, I thought he was awful, cowardly here in these scenes.
Yeah, like there wasn't even a line of, here, you can't touch me because Tony will have your knees. It was like, oh, Richie, come on, the pizza's good, son.
Yeah, it was like
all the toppings, just my knees.
It was kind of like he was asking him nicely to leave him alone rather than saying, look, I don't owe you nothing. You ain't getting a penny for me, and if you touch me, Tony will be on the phone, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like that. It was like, come on, man, please, this is my business. You wasted your money. I invested, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. But anyway, I thought it was a good start to the episode. And I do like this Richie Aprile character, so we'll see what happens with him.
We'll get to him a wee bit later on, but it's time for a wee frat party. Tony is informed by a police officer that there's some teens drinking inside his mother's house, so he shows up and you can kind of... But no one really looks at Tony here. It's like the police guy's the only guy that knows him.
Yeah, well, I think this guy is on Tony's payroll. Tony gets there, and they're like, drowning pool, let the bodies hit the floor should have played. There's people being carted out, carried out, helped out, stretchered out, you name it.
Junkies.
Out cold. There's people. I mean, Tony walks into the house and it is absolutely fucking trashed. Puke everywhere, pish everywhere. Just the house pretty much destroyed. And he finds out that it was his daughter, Meadow, that was basically behind the party. And it's fair to say that Tony isn't happy. And he marches Meadow home along with her friend whose name is
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
It's definitely not him.
No,
but yeah,
she's a fucking nose like Triple H.
She does. They get home and basically they have a bit of an argument. And
she storms off to bed. Then the next morning, it's like, right, what's the punishment going to be? And then she comes up with the punishment, saying, right, I think my credit card should be taken away for 3 weeks. To which Tony agrees, but Carmela's like, no, what you doing, Tony? He's like, fuck it, that'll do.
No, she says 2 weeks.
Well, then they up it to 3.
And then they up it to 3. I thought this was right. Tony's supposed to be this fucking badass. And like when they first get in and when Meadow's going to bed, AJ's like, he shouts at AJ, says like, what you doing, get out of bed? And he's like, she's the one taking drugs. Yeah, I'm the one getting shouted at. And then Tony tries to lunge at him, but he runs up the stairs before Tony can get him. But it's like, I actually kind of agree with AJ here. I mean, he's just kind of like sitting up past his bedtime, I guess, to see what trouble his sister gets in. Yet she runs upstairs, and before he knows it, he's the one getting shouted at. It's like, what the hell's happened here? But then the next day, Meadow's the one that comes up with the punishment. Like, she says, my credit card taken away for 2 weeks, and they up it to 3 weeks. It's like, I don't understand this. I mean, I think it's fair to assume that she doesn't spend that much on it.
Yeah.
How much would really be on it? I highly doubt she's used to spending thousands every single week on a credit card that is supported by her family. So I don't think it's even that much of a loss. And then they decide to up it by an extra week, but like, big deal. And it's like, shouldn't they decide the punishment? I thought it was a bit strange that they let Meadow come up with the punishment. Whenever does someone commit a crime and they are the ones that decide? You know what I mean? You can't go and murder somebody and go, you know what, I was wrong. I tell you what, I'll do 2 years. And the judge is like, no, I think you should do 3. And I went, okay, 3, fair enough.
No, and I get you, right? But I think Tony Soprano, to use one of my favourite quotes, he looks weak here for a mob boss. You know why? Numerous reasons, because he even says in bed with Carmela that, here, you know what kids are like these days? They could sue us.
We can't touch her.
What, mate, you're fucking top, man.
You're Tony fucking Soprano.
If he can't get his kids in line, what's the average person got? By getting their kids in line?
Exactly.
It should be what Tony says, that's it.
I mean, I'm not saying Tony should beat the shit out of her, like, I'm not saying that, but it's like, I'm surprised they went, right, well, I'm taking you're getting your car taken off you, you're grounded for so long.
He should just have to, like, raise his voice the slightest bit, and that should be it.
And it's like, what about making her clean the place, or nothing like that? She didn't have to clean the house, didn't get grounded, got a credit card taken off her, but then she later asks for money in the episode and they end up giving her money. It was like, I don't think it was a punishment at all. And again, people say this is the greatest show ever. It's just, Tony Soprano doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would just let this slide. I mean, it's not like it's not like she had a couple of drinks with her friends and she maybe got a bit too drunk and you know, got hungover and puked. I mean, they were all doing drugs and shit. It was all like these fucking nobodies. God knows who was inside it. And they pretty much destroyed the house.
I know.
Yeah. If anything, Carmela seemed more annoyed than Tony.
Absolutely. And Tony actually, I mean, he gets far more annoyed at Janice the next day, where he wings his cereal bowl about halfway across his house.
Yeah, it's weird though, because Janice at the start was kind of defending Meadow's delinquency.
And then once she finds out about how much, because you actually thought that maybe she
yeah, I don't know, maybe it's a theory fed, but I actually thought maybe Janice put Meadow up to this and I don't know, maybe paid for her to get the drink, maybe paid for her alcohol and stuff like that, and allowed her the keys to party, because Meadow keeps saying it's not my fault, but she doesn't explain why it's not her fault. Every time they blame her for this party, she just keeps saying it's not my fault. So I don't know if Janice maybe agreed to let this happen, but she didn't realise the extent that the house was going to get destroyed, or she actually doesn't care about how badly the house is destroyed and she's just like playing up. to make it look as if like it was definitely Meadow that did this and not her.
Again, it's not a good look for Tony. If Meadow's down the route of here, I tried to stop these people coming in, but they wouldn't listen to me. Surely they know who she is and what her dad does. And surely, if he was really big man Tony, they'd be like, fuck, we can't touch that house.
Yeah.
But again, I think in this show, they try and like downplay themselves to the public.
True.
They?
And it was all, yeah, it's
They're
like,
not like
Tony,
the
doesn't want Tony doesn't want his neighbours to know what he's doing and all this stuff. That time they were playing golf and they kept bringing it up like he was pissed off.
Here, I don't do that shit, son.
But it's like, again, I mean, Tony, he takes like a slight interest once he finds out there was people selling drugs, but then he kind of like just quickly forgets about it. And it's like, why doesn't he care? I mean, why is he not pressing this more?
Yeah, I don't get it. There's just so much other stuff he gets far more annoyed at.
Yeah, that isn't even relevant.
Like,
yeah.
I remember a scene last season when AJ didn't answer the door and he was playing Mario Kart. And he was like fucking threatening to throw him out in the street because he didn't answer the door. And I think it is maybe more an Italian thing, but he definitely seems more lenient towards Meadow than he is AJ. I feel like if this was AJ doing it, he'd have fucking killed him. He'd have Batista bombed him through his SUV.
Fucking ground it for a year.
Honestly,
Car
like,
taken off him.
AJ
Locks on the bedroom door.
AJ Witt stays up past his bedtime and he either gets fucking speared through the stairs.
Tony, who couldn't get his belt out quick enough. Give him some lashes.
Tony Crispy and Wallace Soprano.
Yeah, then we see... So, like, the next day, once Janice kind of finds out the extent of which the house was damaged, she starts criticising Tony and Carmela for not disciplining their daughter enough. Tony ends up throwing a cereal bowl at her. He's not happy.
And I feel like this is actually this actor at his best when he's in these rage scenes.
I agree.
This is when you see him... I mean, it's really good acting, but I guess some people could see it as one-dimensional.
I think Tony's got a lot of dimensions, like...
No, he does, but I feel like some people could see it that because like, I think the scene where he thinks Polly's killed Big Sal, that was good acting as well.
Aye.
And this one is he moves like that.
He does.
He moves like the Flash.
Definitely mentally not right there. Like, he definitely needs a psychiatrist.
Oh, wait a minute.
And maybe a bunch of pills as well. Why not?
The fact his psychiatrist is seeing a psychiatrist.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Then Carmela kind of loses patience with Janice after Janice continuously criticises their parenting skills, and she tells her to shut the fuck up, and basically kind of wants her out the house, I guess, at that stage. And it's like, I don't think Janice making her point that she doesn't think they punish Meadow enough. I don't think that is like crime of the century now. I guess Carmela's taking it bad because she kind of feels like she's been like undermined or she's been like criticised as a mother for how they dealt with it. But I mean, for me, I still think Janice is entitled to voice her opinion. I mean, there's been no... Janice is the one that I believe... Well, she's not really living at the house, but she wants the house or whatever. I just don't feel like... I don't feel like the punishment was enough. I don't feel like enough was done. I don't think Janice is horrible for suggesting they didn't do enough either. It's like, man, they should have been saying to me, all right, you better go and get your friend April or Hunter or whatever she's called.
April Hunter Hobart.
And you better be over in that house tomorrow morning cleaning that up. I want to see that house looking spotless. I want to see this. I want to see that. And don't think you're getting paid for it or whatever. Blah,
yeah, like
blah.
the anger's very inconsistent.
It's like they fucking trashed the house, and Janice is the one that's cleaning it up. So therefore, I think you could understand why Janice would be upset about this. Like, how come they trashed this house, they destroyed it, I'm cleaning it up, and you let her off with, taking away her credit card, but then you're just going to give her money anyway?
Exactly, it's not even a punishment.
So yeah,
I think you're just not letting your credit card build up.
So I think Janice was kind of in the right here for, criticising how they dealt with it. But I don't know, maybe it's because it's an Italian thing. Is this the ultimate sign of disrespect?
Telling you how to bring up your kids. But again, she's not some total stranger. She's the aunt. She's Tony's sister. It's not like one of Tony's crew said this and Tony's like, yeah, Christopher, what the fuck you on? You're a junkie, mate.
Aye.
I can maybe get that. But, well, again, Christopher's her cousin, isn't he? So, maybe Christopher could have a wee word here. But look at Dr. Melfi. She's having a dinner with her friends. Tony's sitting down with his crew. You've got Johnny Sack there. she like looks at Tony, and then she's like, I can't even remember what she asked. Tony kind of like blanks her, goes, yeah, and then she's like, toodle-doo, toodle-oo. Toodle-oo! When it was, you know what, it was fucking awkward.
It was.
I think that's probably the sole reason she went and seen a psychiatrist.
That's right. Well, I think she's already seen one.
Oh, well, I know, like, but yeah, that's me. And then she just sum it up. Then she has a dream about Tony running out of Prozac, and he crashes a fucking car.
I feel like The Sopranos does a really bad job though of introducing other characters. Like there's a lot of time where Tony's meeting up with people, and I'm like, who the hell's this guy?
One of these guys sitting around the table is called Johnny Sack, right? And
But who is Johnny? That's what I mean.
see, he's like one of the top dogs in New York. He's way above Tony, and you would think he's a bum. You would think he's a fucking
But they haven't
jobber.
explained that very well.
I know what I'm
I
saying.
thought Tony was the top man.
I have New Jersey.
Well, New Jersey and New York are like kind of...
No, it's different.
No, but it's... What do you mean he's way above Tony? If Tony's the top man in New Jersey...
Yeah, but New York is considered the 5 families in New York's like, ho ho!
Yeah, but New York and New Jersey are just like two... It's like two different locations.
New York.
Aye.
New York's a state, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
New York is a state. You've got New York City and then New York the state. New Jersey is
Now,
in
New
York.
Jersey's a city, though.
Aye, and yeah, I know. No, right. See, Tony is like San Bernardino, right?
Right.
And then New York, it's weird because I guess his sons are kind of all like equal in a way. It's a weird one. It's a weird one to describe, but I don't really know how to describe it. But New York is just more important than New Jersey.
Right, okay. But New York's a city.
Aye, but it's also a state.
What's the actual name for the New York State, though? It's not New York.
It has to be. New York. That's what it is.
New York. Aye, because there's New York, New Jersey, yeah.
Aye, and then you get like New York, Manhattan, all the islands, Brooklyn, New York. That's why it's called Brooklyn, New York.
So, are these guys the headmen of the New York City or the New York State?
I don't know. They don't really explain that.
Right, okay.
Obviously, I think, right, you know what, guys, see when it comes to East Coast America, I'm not that good. See when it comes to West Coast, I know my stuff.
I'll be honest, right? See, when it comes to America, I wouldn't say I'm top notch, but I damn know more about geography than the average American does, so.
Exactly.
Well, America's weird. You got your states and your provinces and cities and shit, and I guess, and area codes. I don't deal with that.
No, but know what it is? It's like Tony's mafia. I mean, the mafias are connected, right? But they're not the same thing. If you know what I mean, they're not the same thing. It's like two different MCs.
But this one's a lot more important than Tony's.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's like two cartels, but one's bigger than the other. But they work together.
Oh, I just feel like in other shows, if a top dog is coming and they're like top dog, then they make you aware of that.
Yeah, but he's not the top dog.
No,
But
I
he's
know.
a part of the top dog crew.
But they didn't do a good job. Like, let's take the Mayans, for example. I feel like in episode 1, when the Mayans have to go and explain to Galindo, I feel like they do a good job of basically explaining. Now, I don't know if this tier system would be correct, but I take from episode 1, when they have to explain what happened to the drugs getting stolen, it seems like Galindo's up here, and the Mayans are down here.
Yeah.
Now, but when
Maybe at this point...
But see, when Tony's sitting talking to people, it's literally just like it's random fucking people he might have just met that night. Oh, do you want to sit down and have a bite to eat?
Maybe at this point they had no plans for New York, but as the show goes on, New York comes into it a bit more, so maybe there's that element of it, like, but...
Who had no plans for New York? Tony?
The show. In terms of the writing, maybe they didn't want to make New York a big deal in the
So
early
just what you think, you just want to stick to New Jersey?
Aye.
Right, okay. That's fair enough.
I'm not saying, like, sure, fucking season 5, man, it's all about New York, but they talk about it a bit more, is my point.
My point is we should move on before I embarrass myself about any more American geography.
Aye, we'll move on, right? But Richie is warned by Tony in the mall, which he sees as like blatant disrespect, because earlier he meets Tony outside the butcher's, and then Chris shows up. He's like, "You ever want to hit my niece again? You're gonna have to marry her, give her her last name. So it's all right if you marry her. You can fucking bat her, slap the fuck out of Adriana, but until you do that, big man, you can't do it." What's their fucking mentality is that? That is dipshit mentality.
Yeah,
I know you could say, "Oh, that's old school, right?" But how the fuck does that make it?
Does that mean Tony's all right with someone literally beating the shit out of Meadow as long as they're married to her?
Exactly. No, come on. That's fucking ridiculous.
I can't imagine Tony'd be okay with that.
I know. That.
But then again, Tony's so fucking... He's so...
He's just like, oh, he can beat the shit out of her, but I can't stay fucking Tony. What do you mean, AJ, brother?
I know, he flips and flops, like, I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was a bit weird. If you want to continue beating the shit out of my niece, then you gotta marry her. You know, like, what?
I can see Richie's point here, though. I think it is like almost disrespectful by Tony by how much he's blanking him. Like, Richie wants to talk business, and Tony just walks off instead of saying, not here. I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's top man, but I feel like the way he did blank him was disrespectful.
Yeah,
and I can actually see a reason why Richie's pissed off here.
True.
Like, I can't imagine another show, man, if they went to sit down and they just blanked him and fucked off. He'd be like, what?
Yeah, he kind of... Is it Paulie says Paulie takes his place?
Silvio sits down. He's like, not here, big man. You're going to have to meet him in the mall. Well, so they have to drive 50 miles to the mall just to talk in a phone shop?
But then again, is that not more of Tony just being careful than disrespecting him?
Not. But I think he's trying. I think you can already tell they're trying to.
So you think
each other's buttons?
You think Tony's trying to play mind games, even though he's mind-wise he's mentally fucked?
Yeah.
Because see, if you're mentally ill, I don't think you should try mind games. I think weak, strong people should play mind games, even though they.
Is it because he's just out of jail? Maybe he thinks he's got a deal. I don't know.
Could be, yeah, could be that. But then again, I thought because Tony had a lot of respect for his brother, so I thought he had more respect for him.
Even in this episode, he's like, I see you as a big brother. Richie.
But anyway, I guess, do you think this is what pushes Richie over the edge and he decides to go and take out in the pizza man?
I mean, it could be, but I don't know. I feel like he's just... I don't know what he's trying to do with the pizza man, honestly. It just feels a bit unnecessary on it. So he shows up again. He sees Beansy. And then, like...
Holds him at gunpoint.
And Beansy starts running around the car. It was very awkward.
Beansy runs away. I mean, it's like a chase scene for a horror movie. Beansy thinks he gets away, and then he's a bit...
It's almost very cringy, isn't it?
He's a bit to get into his car, and then lights flash on him, and it's Richie who's in another car. And Beansy has time to like run away or run around the other side of his car, but he just decides to stand there like an idiot. And
lets
Richie Aprile
times.
He lets Richie Aprile just like run into him.
And then you get
crushing him between both cars.
You've got No Scrubs playing by TLC. And it kind of took away from it, but made it funny.
And then Richie Aprile backs up and backs over him and then drives over him a few times and drives off. Honestly, I thought he was dead.
He should be dead.
I mean, we've seen like murder hits and kill hits like way worse than this.
I mean, I guess he hit him quite big, but I mean, I guess
it was always like lower legs. He never really.
Aye, and then when he went over him, it wasn't like he was doing it like fucking 50 mile an hour. But best quote of the episode is when Tony says, "I thought I taught you to back off Beansy," and he goes, "I did. I put it in forward." The way he says it, totally fucking serious.
Yeah. So Tony's pissed off that he's done this to Beansy. Tony then goes to visit Beansy in hospital,
and he's humped.
His mother and wife are there, and they're not happy. And she's like, "Yeah, Tony, you're gonna let someone do this to your friend?" I mean, she better watch it, or else she might get slapped. Although she is married, so maybe that's not Tony's place. They go away, and then Tony Sopranos says to Beansy, he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, man. People walk out of here all the time."
I know, he's like, Paulie has a cousin. He was told he could never walk again. He's doing. What's that thing called? Lingo. What's that? You go under the pole?
Lingo dance.
I mean, come on, Tony.
How low can you go? But I mean, it doesn't look like the guy is going to walk again, and the doctor has minimum hope that he'll walk again. But Tony is convinced that he will because Paulie's fucking nephew or something got ran over once, and he can still walk now. So, yeah. Then we get Tony later, like we said, he reprimands Richie for the attack, threatening him with severe consequences should he not follow the boss's orders again. And it's like, I mean, is Tony really Richie's boss as things currently stand?
But see, it is kind of...
I get Tony is the boss or whatever of New Jersey, or I get that, but I mean, is Richie's, is he really... Like, who's Richie belong to? I mean, does he belong to anybody?
See, because he would have been under the former regime when he went into jail. You kind of see in this episode he meets Junior. He speaks to Junior. He says, "Is that I'll do whatever you tell me to." So it definitely seems like Richie is in Team Junior camp. Team Junior has gained a member.
Team Junior is back in town.
But again, Junior's just some old. Junior has just got him, Fat Bobby, and now Richie Aprile. There's not much of a team. It's not much of a team effort. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I just feel like they wiped out Junior's team just like that within the space of 10 minutes in the season finale. Junior's team, this squad, got completely shot off the face of the earth. We also had Richie kind of following Janice around this episode.
See, like, they get you to believe here, right, that these two, well, I mean, they had a relationship, like, ages ago. Like, I think when Livia was still fucking... I think when Janice and Tony still lived with Livia, right? But the age difference between the actors is 20 years. And I think you can see that.
Yeah, you can clear... I mean, Janice, to me, I don't know what age she's supposed to be in the show, but...
I think she's 40 in the show.
Wow, she actually does not look 40. She looks more like early 30s.
She's the oldest sibling, right? And Tony's like late. I think Tony's like 38 in season 1. Janice is a couple, like 2 years older than him. But Richie, to me, well, the actor. I mean, I just did it then and now. The actor's 58 in season 2, right?
What's the character in season 2 though?
I would say,
is he Jackie Aprile's older brother or younger?
Older, has to be. I mean, if it's younger, they've done a bad casting.
Yeah,
I would say. In the show, he's at least 5 years older than Janice, but that makes him 45, and he just looks bad. He looks bad for 40. To me, he looks about mid-50s, late 50s.
Yeah.
So, again, does Richie Aprile need to take a seat? Can you not slap somebody if they're overage or something? I don't know what's going on, but yeah, very weird for Richie.
But yeah, I guess Richie wants to get back with Janice. Does he really care about Janice, or is this kind of just a pawn in his game to try and maybe get one over on Tony?
It could be that, but I tell you what, right? We've buried this show for not developing characters, but see, in terms of pushing one character to the moon, they've did it with this guy this episode, and it's proof it can be done.
Yeah, no, if you give a character time and you develop them, then obviously they can be good, and all of a sudden...
I'm not even joking, I mean, this guy's like second place right now.
Yeah, he feels more important than pretty much anyone else.
I mean, Christopher... I feel like Christopher and Junior, right, are obviously up there, but I feel like there's no consistency. I just feel like they go missing for a few episodes.
I feel like Christopher peaked in the early half of season 1.
Yeah, exactly. But Junior, he's just... No, he if Richie's going to listen to Junior, maybe they're going to be playing on the podium position, but aye, Richie's here. It was a Richie featured episode. Tony then shows up to change the locks at the house, and who's he discover? Meadow cleaning the place. But again, this kind of goes back to your logic about Janice, because Janice was alright with it, and then discovered how bad the place was in. Now, why would Meadow go clean it out the goodness of her heart? That kind of tells me that Janice is like, here, we got you that easy punishment.
Wait, when we were watching this, did I not say that was Meadow cleaning it, and you said it was Janice?
No, you did, and then I went, no, you're right, it is Meadow.
It definitely looked like Meadow.
No, you're right. But, again, that's how the episode ends, with Meadow cleaning the fucking floorboards. Of all the stuff they did with Richie in this episode, and it ends...
I feel like Meadow cleaning the floorboards is something that should happen in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
That's your punishment, Meadow.
I think the ending scene of this episode should have been when Tony basically threatened him, if you don't follow my orders, I'll kill you.
Aye, and then they have a face-off, and
they looked, and then when Tony walks off, it can fade to black rather than this here scrub of the floorboard.
Tony walks off, and then you hear tires screeching.
I don't want no scrubs. Anyway, right. I think the first episode got a 5.5. Last week's episode 2 got 4.5. What's this one going to get?
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. Richie Aprile, he's fucking up the average for this season big time in Toodle fucking... Oh! And it's a half an hour review. And,
there you go, boom.
Closing thoughts, go for it. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I like the Richie Aprile character. I feel like the show needs more important characters, because at the moment, I genuinely feel like it's like the Tony Sopranos show. with a bunch of sidekicks.
But no, another thing I don't really like about it, right? This whole, like, oh, they just go to jail. Like, there's just no build-up. There's not even a slight mention. Like, there's not even a mention of this guy even existing before this episode.
Yeah, it's like, how come in a previous episode can you not even, like, drop off a wee mentions, like, Thingy's getting out of jail or whatever?
No, right, if Jackie Aprile dies, right, and then, like, you've got the whole feud between Tony and Junior, surely there should be a thing about, oh, what's Richie going to do when he gets out? He's out in 6 months.
Yeah, no, with Jackie dying and stuff like that, you'd think this Richie Aprile's name would at least got name dropped.
But again, for a show that's considered the greatest of all time, I feel like stuff like that is crucial to a show.
I like The Sopranos, but I think it's hit and miss.
Yeah, and a show that's hit and miss can't be the greatest of all time.
No, I think you need consistency.
And that is it, folks. Consistently inconsistent. But anyway, 8 out of 10. Can it do this for the rest of the season? Can Richie Aprile take us to the heights of a 10 episode? Will The Sopranos get a 10 out of 10 episode?
I'd say so, aye.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. Bold predictions. But until then, toodle fucking oh. Woo!